Welcome to the Trimos India channel. Have you heard of Trimos? It's the most reputed Swiss brand in worldwide in the area of precision metrology. They make the finest measuring instruments for both precision manufacturing plants as well as calibration or standard rooms worldwide. Some of the most reputed labs worldwide, such as Roots in India, caliber gauges such as DKD and Metas in Europe, they all use Trimos instruments to assure the quality of their services to manufacturing companies. Today we're going to introduce to you Trimos height gauges. Trimos height gauges have been a worldwide market leader for the last 35 years. They've proven themselves, particularly on Indian manufacturing shop floors, for their ruggedness, their resistance to the typical Indian manufacturing shop floor environment. They've proven their accuracy and repeatability over lives of 10, 15, 20 years, right? Trimos, we'd also like to talk to you about Trimos India in specific, right? Trimos India has adapted the Trimos instruments with a sales and a support strategy that's tailor-made for India. We know, as an Indian customer, we know that our market is all about recycling and reusing, right? So, in fact, Trimos instruments, while normally the spares are available for 10 to 15 years worldwide, in India, very often we do maintain spares and service know-how for much beyond that. For instance, TVA Trimos TVA instruments, which were manufactured, sold in India in the late 80s and 90s, they are still being serviced today by us here at Trimos India. So if you buy a Trimos instrument, you can be assured that it's going to pay you back for well over the defined asset life in your books of accounts. What else is special about Trimos height gauges? They're built for accuracy on the shop floor. They have steel scale inside which expands and contracts with the shop floor ambient temperature, resulting in greater accuracy of measurement. Trimos has the broadest range of height gauges. We have 32 different variants in terms of the model as well as the height range. We have the tallest height gauges in the world, which are 1.8 meter tall, and we have instruments very basic in Indian market that start from just about 2.5 lakhs onwards. So from 2.5 lakhs to 25 lakhs, whatever be your budget range, whatever be your application need, Trimos India can probably find the right instrument for you. Not only that, Trimos instruments, over the years, we have developed the product, and we've developed the broadest range of accessories, probing accessories for the height gauges. I've got here some sample sets. This is an eco set, which is the basic. It's a basic kit of about 7 parts. We have a macro set, which is by far and large the most popular kit in India. It's got about 16 pieces, various probing accessories that most often cover to most of your typical manufacturing needs. If you're a manufacturer who makes very small parts, we also have a very special micro set that's got probing accessories with very fine tips that can go into very intricate geometries. So let's get into our quick demo today. We've got a V4 700 instrument here. We're going to show you a few sample 1D one-dimensional measurements. We're also going to show you how you can convert a Trimos 1D into a 2-dimensional instrument and measure 2-dimensional features across a component such as this. For instance, you can see the various features here. We'll show you how you can pattern and take XY measurements of this. So let's get going. You see, Trimos instruments have been built for ease of use. You just take a look at how quick it is to start off and start taking measurements. Power on. It's asking me to do reference. I need to just unlock my carriage. Okay, it's caught the reference. I just need to move it up. As with anything else, it's a good practice. If you've changed the probe, you need to do it. Otherwise, you don't need to do it every time. But it's good practice to just verify your probe constant with your setting gauge. So I'm just going to show you that. You'll see that it's possible for me to focus only on the probe area, on the probing area here, not have to look at the display at all, because everything, there is an audible alarm for everything. Okay, so there's my probe constant, and now you see is exactly 25.000, which is the dimension of the setting gauge. Taking one-dimensional measurements is an absolute breeze on these instruments. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to now go ahead and measure one of these step heights. Sorry. Okay. Zero. $74.386. Now on the screen you will see a few different buttons. Very few buttons as compared to most of our competitors. We have minimum buttons, the most essential functions accessible with just one touch operation. So for instance, here's the dimension I measured, 74.386. If I wanted, for whatever reason, the midpoint between the previous measurement and this measurement, I've got simple functions like that just to get me the midpoint. I can do, if I wanted, for instance, a diameter. So how do I measure diameters? We've got a superb scheme for detection of the high and low points. I just set it, drag it, and you can see that the screen blinked and there was an audible alarm as well, making sure the operator will not miss when the system has found the reversal point. Move it up, move it in the opposite direction. The reversal point was detected again, and there you have it. That's the diameter, 70.002. The center height from bottom is about 68.376 millimeters. Various other features, for instance, if I wanted the high and low point, it's as simple. I've got a function right here. Here, this is going to give me the low point of any surface. So if I wanted to just touch upon the surface here, just rub it across. That's the minimum height. Touch it again, I can probe it again for the maximum height. Touch it again, I can probe it again to get the overall range in heights. So range of 32 microns on this surface. 1D measurements, whether it's simple heights, whether it's simple calculations based on heights, whether you want high-low points, you want diameters, any measurement you want, you can get it on this instrument within seconds. An extremely intuitive, easy to use display. You've got various other functions. You've got print command to send the data out to external devices, such as you can plug in your computer through a USB cable or RS-232, or using Bluetooth, a special Bluetooth accessory, and you can use the print command to send selected data out to the PC. Alternately, data can go out immediately when the probe trigger is sensed. Data can go out immediately to the PC for storage. So very, very easy and intuitive in terms of 1D functions. We're now going to take a look at how you can measure two-dimensional functions. So we have here an Android tablet. This is a product specially developed for Indian market. It was designed in India, built in India, and developed only and sold only in the Indian market actually. Particularly, this comes very useful for manufacturers. We observed in our studies several manufacturers who have multiple Trimos instruments on the shop floor. They have occasional application for two-dimensional measurement, but they don't use it all the time. And definitely they do not wish to spend, if they've got 5 Trimos instruments across the shop floor, they do not wish to invest in 5 two-dimensional instruments because their duty cycle of actually using a 2D function is quite low. This is a plug-and-play 2D conversion tablet. It's specially made, as I said. All you've got to do is at the back, we've got a plug-in. It just plugs in through a special cable that we provide. It's an RS-232, a USB to RS-232 converted cable. Plug it in at the back of the instrument and you're pretty much ready to go. We've loaded this tablet with the software that we've developed here for Trimos, for India, called the Cadmium 2D software. This tablet that we supply to you is a tablet that's typically locked for use only with the Trimos instrument. It will not be possible for your operators to install at their own free will other applications, etc. very easily, right? So here let's take a look at how we can take some simple measurements in 2 dimensions. So I have over here, for example, this particular bolt pattern. We're going to measure this bolt pattern and we're going to see how this software can give us the reports very quickly and easily. So here I go. You've got to remember what is the procedure. You've got to remember that 2D measurement on a 1D height gauge is actually nothing but a game with software. It's just about calculations. If I have this hole pattern, first I set the part in this orientation. I measure the heights of each of these holes. Then I rotate it through a known angle, 90 degrees in most cases. I again measure the heights of all the features in the same sequence as I measured the first time. The software then puts the x-axis measurements to the y-axis measurements and it gives us a 2-dimensional diagram. So similar to a 2D CAD layout, it gives us a 2-dimensional diagram and then we can take all the dimensional measurements that we need from that. So let's take a look at how 2D measurements work, shall we? So I've got the Cadmium software loaded on my laptop, new session set up. Now going to measure the heights of all the holes on one axis, along one axis. After each time you take a measurement, the one step you have to do is click the print button to send the data to the tablet. As you can see, 25.083, the X value of the first feature as per what's on the display. Now moving on. So that's 6 values for the 6 holes along the x-axis. We're now going to rotate to the y-axis. Yes. So go back and activate the first feature, and let's go ahead and do it again. Oops, I made a mistake. I missed a point, but it's absolutely easy to go back and correct it. So there you go. Hole number 3, the y coordinate is correct now. We go to hole number 4. Hole 5. And the last hole. That's the 6th and final hole. I've taken all the measurements, and now let's take a look at the software itself. I've got my 6 measurements here. I say done. Okay, and as you can see, right there is my hole pattern. Right, it's all based on the x and y values. It's already drawn out each of the holes where they should have been. Now let's assume that I want to take some dimensional measurements. I need linear dimension between, say, holes 4 and 5. It's as easy. It's an extremely easy software to use. I touch holes 4 and 5, use the distance icon, and there I have it. Right here on the left side, you have a variety of you have the details, the actual dimensional data of every distance that you measure. So the line that I just selected, you can see it as feature number 7. The specific distance has now been listed as 50.009 mm. Let's assume I wanted a pit circle diameter. I go ahead and select each of the features and I say pit circle, and there I have it. My pit circle is ready, and if I come back, I can now see circle feature 8 is a circle. It's given me the pit circle diameter, the x and y coordinates of the center, just about everything that I wanted. If I want to, let's assume, shift the origin, you can see that the origin is the big plus that's a little to the lower left side of all the features. If I wanted to shift that to the origin, to the center of the pit circle, I could very easily do that. I select that feature and I click this particular icon, and the origin is shifted. If let's assume that I wanted to rotate the axis so that it were aligned between, the axis were aligned with the line between circles 1 and 4, I select that line and I rotate, and there I have it. Extremely simple software to use. Now let's assume that here I can see the dimensions of all the features here. Report generation is an absolute breeze. So come here to reports. So there is the session that I've just taken. So I click on that particular session, generate report. I say add diagram, yes, I want it in PDF format, finish. And it auto creates a PDF for me. So I can open it now. And here, this is the entire report in PDF format. This is the graphical view, and here I have the tabular view. You can see that every feature that we measure, it shows the x and y coordinates. If it's a circle feature, it shows the diameter. Any special features that I want to measure, such as angles, pit circle diameters, linear distance between 2 holes or 2 points, any of them, I can simply touch add to the graphical layout and it will find its way to the report. So there you have it, an extremely easy made for India conversion from one dimension to two-dimensional tablets. How much easier could you really want it on your instrument? It uses the Android, an Android tablet, which the interface of which is familiar to even, a 3-year-old kid today. So just about anybody can use this, extremely intuitive. And in fact, I would say that this particular tablet is, the software here has been modeled on the native Trimos software that comes with the premium 2D instruments as well. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this demo. We look forward to seeing our Trimos instrument on your shop floor.